Hey everyone, in today's session we're going to talk about parent companies. So when setting up your PSP, by default you'll have your first parent company which will carry your brand. We allow you the option to resell the system as what we call a Lite label to additional marketplaces or other startups that will work underneath your setup, and for each one you will create a separate parent company. In this session we're going to talk about yours, the basic parent company and functionality that comes with it. So first let's go to Settings, Brand Management, Parent Companies. Here we'll see a list. On our end we'll have a few, but let's cover the first one. In our case it's called Coriunder. So let's go over some of the configuration. So in terms of merchant onboarding, that's the basic and most important part that we use the parent company for. So is this the default parent company when using the API for merchant registration? Is this the basic default one that will be used? So we'll have a checkbox, radio button that will say is default or not. Most important part is create merchant and register. If you enable this feature, meaning every call to the API will automatically generate a merchant on our platform, and we'll skip over the lead creation that we've covered under a second video called merchant registration. Now there are more complex options. So if we decided to create a merchant and registration, we can also assign a terminal template into that merchant, which means it will create the merchant and automatically assign the relevant terminals under this template. You'll have here all the options of the configuration that's already preset. If it's a Euro configuration, USD, India, Mexico, or Argentina. If you want to have multiple templates applied at once, you'll have to create one separate template with all the MIDs that you want configured into it. Now, when creating a merchant by default in the system, the basic status is new, which means still in negotiation process. New status can't start the integration until you switch them to integration mode. So if you decide that you are allowing automatic onboarding and allowing them automatically to start the integration process, you can switch to integration mode. If, for example, you are a marketplace and you want them automatically to start processing because you're responsible for the integration and you already have the MIDs configured under the template, you can switch them to processing, which will automatically allow them to start processing using your platform. If there is a problem with processing, if one of the providers isn't available, you can set here the email that will be notified in case of such case, and then you'll know either to sort things internally or to escalate to support. Internal usage will have a template that is used for the email templates from the system corresponding. So if you do create multiple parent companies, you can have separate templates with separate languages depending on which activity you're doing with that parent company. You'll have the support email, compliance email from, so the system will know which details to pick up from the parent company, and if nothing exists in the configuration, will default to our config files when we set you up initially. Some URL configuration in terms of routing depending on the URLs that we work with you, and of course customer service, technical support, and your social media profile that will be used in all the other correspondence, either the payment pages, email templates, and more. We do allow you to work with your external SMS provider. We work by default with the provider that of choice, but then you can have your own, and we can allow that to be configured in the system. Last but not least, upload your logo to the parent company, so automatically will be pulled from each email template that is used. And of course, as mentioned, if it's not configured under the parent company, we'll take it from the configuration file once we set you up on our system, which means if it's not set in the parent company configuration, we will default to your initial logo. Remember that when you're setting up additional parent companies, to be careful not having one of your subsidiary using the default logo on that part. Thank you much for listening. Check out the other videos on our channel and see you soon.